Deborah and Paul Miller are my parents, and I'm pretty biased at this, but I think they're the best parents in the history of the universe of parenting, because they were dealt a hand that no parent wants to be dealt, but they took it in stride, and they raised me to be thankful, to be grateful, to focus on what I can do, and to do everything in their power to make my life with Duchenne as painless as possible.
Håkan was a big baby. He was 11 pounds, 5 ounces when he was born. I can remember sitting with him when he was 2 years old at the table and looking at him and studying him and just saying, what are you going to look like when you're older? What are you going to be? We were concerned because he never crawled. And we went to the pediatrician and she said, oh, it's just because he's such a big kid and about a third of babies never crawl. So we, put it out of our mind.
Håkan was diagnosed November 16th, 2002. And it had been probably about 18 months of knowing something was wrong and finally having resolution. And our worst nightmare was realized.
When the pediatrician called after the blood test and told me to sit down, there's really no words to describe what it was like. He was our one and only child. He was our pride and joy. And we were being told that he was going to die when he's 18 years old.
We started asking questions, okay, what does that mean? What's there's got to be some sort of solution out there. And the doctor kind of looked at us like, your expectation is 8 to 12. He'll be in a wheelchair, progressively getting weaker, and his lifespan is 18 to 20. Hearing something like that when you have a 5-year-old, that's an unacceptable answer.
All I could do immediately was go into my closet and cry and pray and pray and cry, and then go out and see Håkan. And he was the same little boy that he had always been, and I had to put a smile on him. And in that process, it wasn't like there was this decision that we were going to start this foundation, we're going to raise a bunch of money, and we're going to have all these programs. It was like, what can we do right now to help our son? And how can we find a cure? The best idea we had at that point was raising money to fund research. Neither Paul or I come from medical background, scientific background, but we were business people. And we knew how to run businesses, and we knew how to raise money.
When I tell my friends about Cure Duchenne, I tell them that it was an organization started by my parents in 2003, shortly after I was diagnosed, and that we are working tirelessly to find a cure for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and we are every day getting a step closer to that goal.
What's happening now is that there's a lot of amazing science going on, but not necessarily for Duchenne, but it can be applied to Duchenne, and our job is to find that science that can be applied to Duchenne, and that's what we're doing.
Cure Duchenne invests relatively small amounts of money just to get a proof of concept, to find out that there is a reason that we believe this particular therapy could work in Duchenne. At that point is when the VCs come in, or pharma companies or biotech companies, with the tens of millions of dollars to take it to the next step, and then, if successful, hundreds of millions of dollars to take it to the market. We started Cure Duchenne because we wanted to save Håkan's life. It was selfish in the beginning. And then we fell in love with other boys that we met. And then it became our life mission.
If your son was just diagnosed with Duchenne, I want you to know that Cure Duchenne is a safe haven for you. There's positivity, there's hope. We're funding research and science that's going to make a difference. We have resources for you. We don't want you to go at this alone.
If your child was just diagnosed with Duchenne, parent to parent, I want you to know there is hope.
So when I think of Håkan's future, I just hope and I pray that Håkan will have a treatment, that he will be able to have a life, continue his career, have a wife, and maybe kids.
We wake up every morning, we know what our purpose is. We've been given this challenge, opportunity, blessing, devastation. There's all sorts of ways you can cut and slice and dice this, but we're on purpose. And people ask, what's that like? It's hard for me to understand that because I don't know anything else. I don't know, I'm just a dad, and I just want to save my son.